What is good, fam? This is exactly how J. Cole finally stopped playing nice and shared the details of how Drake tried to manufacture a fake peace treaty just to save his own reputation. Honestly, it is some of the nastiest work we have seen in years. While we knew Drake was moving funny regarding his relationship with the other two members of the so-called Big Three, these new details show he was basically begging Kendrick for a moment that Dot never intended to give him. During his appearance on Carmelo Anthony's 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast, on March 27, 2026, Cole spilled information that officially makes Drake look like the most desperate man in the entire industry. This specific outcome happens when you try to manufacture a legacy instead of earning it, and Cole is finally being honest about how Drake almost dragged him down into that sinking ship. Revelations from the podcast confirmed that Drake was signed and delivered for Dreamville Fest 2024 before the entire plan went up in flames. Cole pitched this idea to Drake during the tour. He believed having the entire Big Three on stage would be a legendary moment for the culture. It turns out that Cole was exactly 60 minutes away from calling Kendrick Lamar to lock in the set when Kendrick decided to burn the whole bridge down. That verse did not just target Drake, but it effectively killed the fake unity Drake was trying to manufacture behind the scenes to make himself look untouchable. Drake originally withdrew from the festival and tried to frame it as a noble sacrifice for his brother J. Cole. He told Cole that he did not want to create a nasty situation where Drake might say something on stage that Cole would be forced to stand behind. Most of us know that is just code for Drake being absolutely terrified of Kendrick. The festival took place on April 6th and 7 of 2024. It became the scene of that infamous apology because Cole felt like a complete fraud trying to maintain the tension Drake had created. Cole admitted during the interview that he felt miserable and fake during that entire stretch because he was being pushed into a war that he never actually wanted to fight. The most savage bomb Cole dropped involved the song First Person Shooter. This track served as the spark that eventually led to Kendrick's nuclear response. According to Cole, Drake originally wanted Kendrick Lamar to be the feature on that track, and Cole ended up being the backup plan when Kendrick did not respond. Drake only pivoted to J. Cole after he realized Kendrick was not moving fast enough or giving him the validation he was looking for with the collaboration. This confirms that Kendrick was already ducking Drake's attempts to link up long before the beef went nuclear in March of 2024. It makes Drake look even worse knowing he only invited Cole to the party because the person he actually wanted would not even pick up the phone for him. Drake tried to use Cole as a second choice to sell this narrative of a shared top spot. Kendrick used that exact song as the catalyst to destroy the entire concept of their friendship. Cole's interpretation suggests that Drake was trying to force a friendship or a shared legacy that Kendrick clearly had no interest in being a part of. Kendrick saw right through the marketing gimmick. He decided that if Drake wanted a big moment, he was going to get one that he would regret for the rest of his career. It shows how Drake was trying to hide his own insecurities by surrounding himself with peers who actually have the respect of the hip-hop culture. The timeline of these events shows a pattern of Drake trying to manipulate his way into the good graces of artists who are fundamentally better than him. Cole was just a pawn in the game Drake was playing to keep Kendrick close. The strategy backfired in the most embarrassing way possible. Kendrick used that verse to say F the Big Three as a direct response to Drake trying to corner him into a festival appearance he never agreed to. Sitting there, watching his own festival turn into a battleground was a tough spot for Cole. He was only part of the conflict because Drake could not handle being the second choice for a feature. Drake tried to cook up a fake peace treaty on that Raleigh stage as a desperate way to keep his crown, but Kendrick stayed 10 steps ahead of the play. By dropping that verse just 60 minutes before Cole made the call, Kendrick showed his timing is surgical and his mind for this game is way higher than anything Drake can handle. Cole is finally making it clear that the pressure of acting as a shield for Drake is what pushed him to that apology, mostly because he realized he was just a tool for a man too scared to stand alone. This entire mess proves the Big Three narrative was just a hollow attempt for Drake to look relevant by hanging on to artists who actually live for the music. These new details show the massive front Drake was putting up while Kendrick moved in the shadows and got ready for the kill. Cole being honest about feeling like a fraud shows the toxic energy Drake brings to everyone he tries to use for extra clout. Drake was officially on the schedule for Dreamville, but he vanished as soon as things got heavy, which tells you everything about who he really is. Drake wanted the fame of a Big Three moment without accepting the fact that Kendrick Lamar was never his friend and never will be. Kendrick winning this whole thing was bound to happen because he was the only one in the room not trying to pimp a lie to the fans for some chart numbers. Before we get into how Drake tried to act like a martyr for Cole's sake, tell me what y'all think. Was Drizzy actually being a real one, or was he just scared to stand on business? Tell me in the comments. No cap. While you at it, like and subscribe. Let's continue. Drake tried to act like a big brother by saying he was leaving Dreamville for the sake of Cole, but that excuse is thinner than a scratched up record from 40 years ago. J. Cole heard that Drake did not want to force him to represent that beef energy on a stage that was supposed to be about unity and the brand. While Drake played the role of a martyr, Cole felt a massive wave of relief once Drake headed back to Toronto and left the building. Cole admitted he did not want to feed into division or hide the respect he has for Kendrick Lamar just to protect the fragile ego of a man like Drake. The calendar shows that Drake was already deep in damage control by late March of 2024 because he knew Kendrick would never play along with a fake festival moment. While Drake went around claiming he wanted to smoke, these new facts show he was really trying to hide behind festival sets to avoid any real pressure from Dot. Cole said the days leading up to his apology were some of the most miserable times of his life since he felt forced into a war that Drake started but could not finish. That apology at Dreamville Fest happened because Cole realized he was sold a fake story by a man who was terrified of a 5'5" giant from Compton. Drake's pressure on Cole to stand on the front lines while he stayed in the shadows led directly to that public breaking point in North Carolina. Cole felt like a fake because he knew his respect for Kendrick was genuine, and he knew Drake used him as a buffer to duck the inevitable smoke. When Drake finally backed out of the festival, it was not a kind gesture. It was a tactical retreat from a man who knew the light that verse had already ended the game. Drake might have told Cole he was protecting the Dreamville brand, but we all know he was just protecting a reputation that was already falling apart. The cost of this whole situation for J. Cole went much deeper than fans realized, and it hit his household in a very heavy way. During a March 2026 interview with Nadeska Alexis, Cole revealed that his own wife actually cried when she saw him apologize to Kendrick on that stage. That kind of emotional weight proves Cole was struggling with his soul while Drake was busy finding ways to manipulate the public perception of this beef. Port Antonio serves as the final word on why Cole left Drake to fight that battle alone, and he rapped about how he would not lose a brother for an algorithm. Integrity meant more to Cole than being a sidekick in a losing fight for a genre he loves, and he saw right through the industry games Drake was playing. The disrespect in how Kendrick timed his moves demonstrates he was playing chess while Drake was stuck playing checkers. Reports suggest Kendrick sat only 60 minutes away from receiving a peace treaty call when he dropped the Like That verse and ruined the strategy for Raleigh. That move represented a calculated strike intended to embarrass Drake and show the world that you cannot schedule a moment with the king on your own terms. By dropping that verse at that exact moment, Kendrick forced Drake to pull out of Dreamville and expose the Big Three concept as a marketing gimmick. Kendrick did more than win a rap battle. He won the mental war by staying in control of the narrative, while Drake struggled to react to every move made against him. While J. Cole moves toward a place of actual hip-hop unity and peace, Drake currently drowns in legal appeals and allegations of using streaming farms to fake his numbers. Recent reports from Yale Law School even cited these claims, which highlight the predatory ways Drake's team has handled his business and public image recently. This represents a massive contrast to how Cole and Kendrick move, as both artists valued the culture over the corporate machine Drake represents. Drake spends his time fighting cases and trying to sue his way back into the conversation, while Kendrick enjoys the victory he earned with a pen and a pad. Kendrick won by making Drake look like a coward who hid behind his friends and his label just to survive a challenge from the best rapper alive. The truth about the Big Three has finally been exposed, and it looks like nasty work for the boy from Toronto. Drake tried to build a kingdom on a foundation of lies and manipulation, and J. Cole became the person who finally pulled the curtain back on the whole operation. Kendrick sat only an hour away from a peace treaty and chose to drop a bomb instead, which tells you everything about where the real power lies in this industry. Drake failed because he overlooked the fact that in hip-hop, you cannot buy respect, and you definitely cannot manufacture a legacy that stands up to the truth. Kendrick Lamar remains the king because he stood his ground and refused to let a corporate pop star define what greatness looks like in this game. Drake can keep his legal appeals and his fake numbers, but the culture has already moved on and left him in the rearview mirror. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, because I want to know if Drake was trying to trick Kendrick or if he was just scared. You should also like and subscribe to the channel while we keep this moving and continue with the rest of the story.